I need a transition for that. It just snaps on in. Well, well, well. While the rest of V Dungeon are a little bit busy with other matters, I am going to get busy talking about another grimdark little setting. Yes, they're playing off in what was it again? Not Bloodborne. Uh, Souls something. It's a Souls game. Yeah, they're playing as they're playing a, they're playing a Soulsborne game. Anyway, yes, they're playing their Soulsborne game. I'm going to talk about a TTRPG experience that's a lot like that. Look at this. Look at this disgusting freak. I love him. Now, you might think, as a D&D player, this is a beholder, but believe it or not, this misshapen mass right here in front of his face, like right in the center, normally that's where a beholder's main central eye would go. But it's not an eye. No, 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 that's just a bunch of lumpy scales and pustule. Very disgusting, yes? No, no, no. His eyes are exclusively on his eye stalks, which all do laser damage. But he is the only one of his kind in all of the realm of Shadowdark. He is the 10-eyed idol. And we'll get to him later. Because we got a lot of stuff to get through. Oh, look at all those lovely weapons. Look at all that armor. Look at all this shorthand stuff, huh? Yeah. Lot of fun here. Spell focus, oh that's actually important. You can't cast other focus spells while focusing. Do a spell casting check instead of your turn yet. Yeah, that's fun. Oh, and here's how the dying timer. This is fun. You have 1d4 plus your con modifier, minimum 1. On a roll of a 20, you get up with 1 HP. So, yeah. That's fun. But, you know, if you run out of that time, you're dead forever. It's interesting. Unless, of course, you know, there's a... And here are all the lovely people who deserve all the credit for all this lovely art. And the wonderful woman who made this game right here. She does all the Shadowdark vlogs. She's amazing. Love her. All right, so yeah, that's just the contents table. We'll get to that soon enough. Oh, drink in this art. It's just I love it. In these nighted halls, doom and glory bloom eternal. This is the story of the Shadowdark. Oh, we're gonna read some stuff. Oh, I'm going to flex my voice chops. All right. They were crawlers, and so they dared the lost halls of the Shadowdark. They went down through the rusty old trap. They went through the old trapdoor in the rusty mug cellar, greasing the owner's palm with a few silver dregs. First came the spiders, prickling legs, burning fangs. They descended on silent threads from the ceiling's high. Krieg finally burned the skittering devils to ash with a blast of magical fire. The carved stone walls grew denser, darker. Araga almost lost her head to a scythe snapping out of the wall. It was Ralina who found the hidden door behind the demonic statue, and so they went deeper. The worked stone turned to damp cavern walls. Distant hisses and screams echoed in the pitch black. The leather-winged abominations swooped in with hooked talons, tearing at Jorben's shield and flesh. But the treasure they found, dusty gold coins stamped with forgotten emperor, fat rubies dangling from silver chains, glittering swords plucked from the hands of moldy skeletons. Soon the torches grew thin, the wounds grew numerous, the magic grew weak. crawlers had met their true foe. It was all around them, never slowing, never sleeping, never ending. It was the Shadowdark. And the fight had only just begun. Oh, it sets the tone so perfectly. Anyway, what is Shadowdark? Shadowdark is a fantasy adventure game where you and your companions delve in buried rooms, lost cities, spider-infested forests, and even fearsome dragon lairs. Oh, Kelsey to you. You flatter me. Although you're not just talking about me. There's definitely some love there for Selena and Mooney. And a good friend of me, Dungeon Alana. And also Dragon Fae. Gotta remember our dragon friends as well as the dragon members of E-Dungeon. Anyway, the Shadowdark is any place where danger and darkness hold sway. It clutches ancient secrets and dusty treasures in its rotting claws. Oh, I also put on spooky music. Don't know if you guys can hear it. Figured it would just set the atmosphere. Yeah. In its rotting claws, daring fortune seekers attempt their fates. With your adventuring companions at your side, you confront the Shadowdark's sinister traps, formidable magics, and ruthless monsters. If you survive, you'll bring back untold riches, plucked from the jaws of death itself. And before long, you'll hear the Shadowdark's call once again. What defines this game? Speed, danger, and simplicity. Magic is perilous, and battles are fast and deadly. Being clever is crucial for survival. This game's not so much about, building out a blorbo that you love. If you love your blorbos, do not put your beloved blorbos in this game. If you can make up NPC characters that, the background guys you'd normally imagine in your blorbos heads, those are who you should be throwing into this game. Because it is highly unlikely that they'll make it through a whole level 1 through 10 adventure. Or even a 0 through 10 adventure. In fact, if you go through a level 0 adventure, they're definitely not going to survive. Because you make a character without a class in that. You're basically playing a peasant. We'll talk about the level 0 stuff soon enough. But yeah. So it's a rules night, intuitive, and encourages quick decisions rather than hunting through a rulebook for answers. Which is great. And the rulebook is a decent size. Like, it's not crazy big. You could carry it around. I'm holding it in my hand right now. As you can see, there's 332 pages, and that is including the cover and flavor text pages. It's so easy to get through this book and find stuff. A lot easier than most rule books that I go through. How do I play? Everything you need to play or run this game is in this tome. Turn to the next section and get familiar with the basics. The basics. Okay. Alright. If this is your first time playing Shadowdark RPG, it's helpful to start with a pre-made character from the digital Shadowdark RPG Quick Start set has a view. Yep, it does. But it's still fun to make your own characters in this. But it might be better to start with the pre-made characters because you don't want to get attached. You don't. Because permanent death is a thing in this. Like, you can still cast spells to revive people, but with the amount of death, you're not going to be able to bring everyone back. It's best to have backup characters. The GM determines if your actions are successful and describes the results. The back and forth between you, the GM, and your adventuring companions grows and shapes the game world. Always ask yourself, if you were really your character, what would you do right now? Describe an action. So on your turn, you describe an action you want to do. For example, you could say you're going to shoot your bow at the troll. The GM might ask you to do a check. These checks determine, so movement. So yeah, near is roughly 30 feet, and far is whatever is in eyesight. That's normally just your sight range or your spell range, though. Like, people who move fast in this are like double near, which is 60-foot movement. And dragons get that when they fly. Rounds. Each person takes a turn with the DM going clockwise, and GM. I'd rather just do an initiative order. The dice, you need a 4. You need a 4. So yes, that's all the dice you need. It's just a standard polyhedral set. You'll need 3 6-sided dice. You need to roll with disadvantage, yes. So you need 2d20 as well, essentially. Or advantage, disadvantage. So you got with the stats, they're the typical ones. They range from -4 to +4. So if your strength is 20, it caps out at +4. You do not get a +5 in this game. +4 is as high as it goes. That's it. So, checks. D20 roll plus a stat modifier equals or beats the DC your action succeeds. For example, the GM say leaping a narrow chasm requires a DC strength 9. I'd also go for a dex. Because you need to be dexterous as well to make jumps like that. It's not just about strength. Either or. Because, you know, acrobatics and all that. Hit points. Yeah. A character at 0 hit points die in 1d4 plus constitution via 5 rounds. Dead characters are retired from play. Hello, Faye! Welcome in! I am just going over the basics. What's next? You can play the whole game with just the basics, but once you're ready for more, the next chapter is... oh, this art! Oh, look at this art! So yes, we are talking about Shadow. Look! Oh, look! You got a dwarf fighter, half-orc priest. Yeah, it's pretty and it's spooky. You got the halfling rogue. You got the human wizard. The characters. But the wise and foolish risk their fortunes in the Shadowdark. The darkness decides who is who. It's so good! Oh! I love the atmosphere. So yeah, you get your standard stuff here. Name, ancestry, and class. Level. Experience is simple enough. Alignment and deity. Yeah, so you can choose law, chaos, or neutrality. I would have gone good, evil neutrality rather than... I heard a lot about this game, but I haven't had a chance. You know what, Faye? At some point, I am going to try and run a one-shot of this. I will let you know when I'm running that. Alright? I'm not going to try and go through the whole book. I'm definitely going to go through the player side of things. I might show off a few of the monsters, though, just because I love them. AC, yeah, we know what our AC is. Oh, Faye, same. Look, I'll tell you right now. There's this. I'm playing in Pathfinder right now, having a lot of fun with that, but I'd like to run it myself. I'm getting the Monster Core and Player Core 2 tomorrow. Can't wait for Monster Core 2. There's so much I want to get. Yeah. So attacks. The weapon you wield is how you fight. So you don't get multi-attacks in this. I love how spells work in this. Some classes can learn and cast magic spells. Gear, we know what gear is. Okay. So level 0 characters are really cool. You do this special thing called a gauntlet. You can see it right there, the gauntlet on page 116 for more insight. We'll talk about them later. But a level 0 character, right? Some games begin with level 0 characters. Weak peasants who have not yet attained the skill to be adventurers. 0 level characters are fragile. GMs should see the gauntlet on page 116 for more insight. Because level 0 characters have beginner's luck, so they can wield all gear until first level. That's the fun thing. I love this idea. So you get your stats, page 15. You roll for those. Choice of ancestry, page 16. Hit points is equal to half their constitution modifier. Minimum of 1. Alright, so that's the mod. The most you could roll is 18, which will give you a +4. But the lowest you can roll is a 3. So you have a minimum of 1 for most of it. You'd need to roll like a 14 and higher to have at least... you'd have to roll a 16 essentially to even have 2 hit points. Anything below a con of 16, you only have 1 hit point. It is brutal. You get a choice of alignment. You don't get your deity from this. You don't get your deity until you're like a level 1 character. So that's interesting. Although I guess you could still pick one. It doesn't really matter. And then you get your starting gear. So that's also cool. Alright, so 0 level characters reach first level surviving their first adventure. And then that's when they get to pick their class. Now they have to give up some gear when they do that. But like if you pick a wizard, you're going to have to give up any armor you're wearing because you can't wield it. Like not even leather armor. If you're a thief, you have to get rid of any chainmail or something like that. So like yeah. There's only 4 classes in the book, but they have a lot more. There's 6 races too, but again, there's a lot more. We'll get to them later. First level characters are essentially the same, but they get a class, and then they get to do a class talent. They also get to roll for their hit points. Now, if you do a level 0 and your level 0 character makes it over, I would let them have the extra hit point, or possibly 2 hit points from level 0, just to, like, you know, carry that over, because at that point they've earned it. And you also get a title, and a title depends on both your alignment and your class. It's a lot of fun. Alright, so stats. So your strength, fight with sword, bash open doors, and look, here's the modifier. So only goes up to +4. Even if you go over 18 plus, the max modifier is +4. Does not get higher than that. And the lowest you can get is a -4. Alright? So, stat level 1 through 3. Like, you won't get a stat level of 1. 3 will always be the minimum. Unless somehow they get reduced by a monster. So, 4 through 5 is -3. 6 through 7, -2, yada yada. It goes on like that. So, ideally, you want to roll at least a 12. And while 12 is on the higher end of things, I believe that should be the average of rolling 3d6. Usually, it's the average. And here's the fun thing. If you roll out your character, right? If you don't get a 14, the game lets you re-roll until you get 114. However, you have to re-roll all the stats in order, and you can't choose where the 14 goes. It has to roll where it lands. Now you can choose a character if you want. Like say, okay, I wanted to be a fighter. I didn't get a 14, but at least I have a strength. At least I have between 10 to 12 on my strength, dex, and con, so I can continue on with that. Or you could risk it and try and get a 14. So yeah, you got to roll your stats first, and whatever your stats you roll, that's when you pick. Here we go. So here are our races. Dwarf. Brave, stalwart folk, live inside mountains. We already know this. So you know common and dwarvish. Stout, you start with an extra 2 hit points. Roll hit points with advantage per level. So that's awesome. Dwarves will have them. Dwarves are really good if you want to have a bit more of a chunky character. Especially with the... So they'd be the best defensive characters. They'd be the best tanks, regardless. Elf. You know common, elvish, and sylvan. So elves get the most language. Farsight. You get a +1 to attack rolls with ranged weapons, or a +1 bonus to spellcasting. So you choose between those two, right? So if you're an elf fighter or thief, you're better off picking the +1 to range and focus on using bows. But if you are playing as an elf priest or wizard, obviously you want to give that to your spellcasting. Goblin. You know common and goblin. And you have keen senses, so you can't be surprised. So that's good. That's good, because enemies then can't get sneak attack on you. You can only get a sneak attack on enemies you surprise. Half orc. You know common and orcish languages. You have a +1 to attack and damage rolls with melee weapons. So half orcs, they're not good for wizards. They're not. They're terrible wizards. But they can do. They're amazing fighters. They'd actually be pretty good thieves, because of the +1 to melee attacks, that means their sneak attack does a little bit more. And as priests, if something gets too close, they can just bonk them on the head, because priests still get their weapons. Alright, so halfling. Halflings are only good for, you know, the common language. Halflings are not great. Once per day, you can become invisible for 3 rounds. So, you could technically play a halfling as anything, but clearly it's built for the thief and wizard class more than anything. You could play a halfling fighter or priest. Wouldn't be the best, though. Alright, human. You know the common language and 1 additional language. The halfling doesn't even get an additional language. You gain 1 additional talent roll at first level. So the human gets 2 talent rolls. So it's essentially like the variant human over in D&D. Look at this art. I love it. The halfling just goofing around. The elf just trying to enjoy her drink, but the human and half-orc are fighting over cards. The dwarf is just ignoring them, enjoying his ale, and the goblin also just enjoying their food. I love it. Fighter class. Alright. Blood-soaked gladiators in dented armor. Acrobatic duelists with darting swords. Or far-eyed elven archers who carve their legends with steel and grit. So, you are a master of all weapons, all armor and shields, and you get 1d8 per level. That is really chunky. So, you add your con modifier, if positive, to your gear slots. You have weapon mastery. 1 type of weapon, such as long swords, you gain +1 attack damage with that weapon. So if you, for example, play a half-orc fighter, you're already getting +1 to melee attacks, right? So if you also pick, like, a greatsword as your weapon, if that orc is wielding their greatsword, that means they already get a +2 to their damage. That is great. Doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, it's effective. Grit. Choose strength or dexterity. You have advantage on checks of that type of to overcome an opposing force, such as kicking open a stuck door, strength, or slipping free of rusty chains, dexterity. So yeah, you just pick one of those to have advantage on. It's great. Alright, fighter talents. So you roll 2d6. So these are your talents that you roll for every odd level. So roll 2d6, gain weapon mastery with 1 additional weapon type. So you'll get another weapon you can get a +2 in. 3d6, +1 to melee and ranged attacks. So that's good. That's just a free +1. If the total is 7 to 9, you get a +2 to strength, dex, or con. Very good. 10 to 11. I don't know why I was going to say D10. Choose 1 kind of armor. You get a +1 AC, so you can really make yourself chunky with that. That'd be great for the dwarf. Choose a talent or +2 points to distribute the stats if you get a 12, which is great. I love it. Okay, and here's a picture of a half-orc. I think she's a half-orc. She kind of looks orcish to me. Maybe she's supposed to be an elf, but I kind of like to imagine that she's a half-orc fighter. You know? Alright. Priest class. Weapons. You can get a club, crossbow, dagger, mace, longsword, staff, warhammer. Nice choice. All armor and shields. 1d6 HP. That's pretty good. Languages. You know celestial, diabolic, or primordial. So you typically know 2 languages already, so you'll have a total of 5 with this. You can also turn undead, which is great. Oh no, you have to choose between celestial, diabolic, or primordial. My mistake. You know the turn undead spell automatically. Oh, hi, Mooney! Welcome in, Raiders! Hello, hello! Yes, welcome in, welcome in. My name's Crit Edition, and you just came in from watching Mooney and Selena play Dark Souls. Well, the Dark Fantasy ride is not over just yet, because we're talking Shadowdark. And hello, Wings! Welcome in more Raiders! Hello, hello. Once again, my name is Crit Edition, and you just came from Mooney and Selena's streams. I am so glad to have you here, because you just finished watching them play Dark Souls. Well, now you want to listen to me talk about Shadowdark for a while. How was your stream, guys? Did you end up beating your target? Did you manage to progress to where you wanted to progress? I hope you did. If not, well. Selena made it to 100 followers. Selena! Congratulations! Alright, everybody. Wait, why isn't Taking the Hobbits to Isengard playing? That should be playing. Sound alerts is on. Huh. Sorry, Ray, that should be playing, but I don't hear it. I might have to redo that link. I'll have to check stream elements later. Sorry, guys. Well, no, I can do that. Yeah, anyway. I'll tell you guys. So, yeah, my name's Creation, fellow member of V Dungeon. And we're going to continue on the theme of Dark Fantasy tonight, since you guys just came from Dark Souls. Welcome to me talking about Shadowdark. We've just discussed a few of the races. I'm talking about the Priest class at the moment. Yeah. 12-hour stream on Saturday. Whoa! Hell yeah, Selena! Let's fucking go! Alright. You guys better tune in to watch that. I'll definitely try and catch some of it at least. Couple hours, definitely. Alright. So, I might as well start over on the Priest class. We already talked about the Fighter. It's pretty cool. We talked about level 0 characters. We're going to make a level 0 character later and a level 1 character as well. Because we can. But we're going to talk about all the character options first. So, Turn Undead. You know the Turn Undead spell. It doesn't count towards your total of known spells. Deity. Choose a god to serve who matches your alignment. See Deities, page 28. You have a holy symbol for your god. It takes up no gear slots. Spell casting. You can cast pre-spells you know. You know 2 tier 1 spells of your choice from the pre-spell list on page 51. Each time you gain a level, you choose new pre-spells to learn according to the pre-spells table. You know you're more... Oh, okay, cool. Hell yeah. You're more than welcome to. And, you know, Mooney and Selena, if you guys want to hop in and talk to me directly here, you're more than welcome to right now. But yeah, I'll definitely join you on your stream. Like, guys, if you're a follower of mine, please always support my fellow members of V Dungeon. We are a family, and we'd like to love, support, and uplift each other. Because that's what families and friends are supposed to do. Unlike a certain massive VTuber who just shot herself in the foot recently. Cinder. Anyway, enough about that drama. You're not here for that. You're here to talk about grim dark RPGs. Or at least I am to you. Priest talents. So, you get your talents. I'm going to explain this to everyone who came in. You get your talents in Shadowdark every odd level. This game goes up to level 10. So you get a talent at 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th level. That's 5 total talents. Alright? You get to roll for your health every level too. And if you're a spellcaster, usually you get more spells every even number. So, here's what the priest gets. So, you roll 2d6. On a 2, gain advantage on casting 1 spell you know. That's important because Shadowdark doesn't have spell slots. Instead, you have to have your own spell casting modifier. You roll it. If it succeeds, right? It usually can succeed very easily on tier 1. If it succeeds, you cast the spell, whether it's an attack or not. If you cast the spell, you manage to hurt anyone you're targeting. They don't get to defend against it. If you succeed, you hit them. It's great. But if you roll a critical 1, on these spells, you get a bad roll. You have to roll on the disaster table. So essentially, all spellcasters in this game get a wild magic surge. And it's always a bad result. It's great. Alright, so 3 to 6, you get +1 to melee or range attacks, which priests are very good at, because they get a bunch of melee weapons and crossbows. 7 to 9, +1 to priest spellcasting checks. That's great, because again, you need to roll over a certain number. Otherwise, bad shit can happen to you. So that's a good one. 10 to 11, you can choose a +2 to either your strength or wisdom. Both are important for priests. Yeah. As for Dark Souls, we finally got to a point where we're happy with the challenge. We had a ton of fun. We made it to the boss where we would earn our permanent build. Nice! Love that for you. I'm glad you got there. Alright. Yeah, you know what? This game has a similar sort of system in it. We were talking about it earlier. There's these things called level 0 characters, which are basically peasants thrown into a gauntlet. And if they survive the gauntlet, they become a level 1 character and get to pick a class. So it's kind of the same idea, only those level 1 characters can still be killed off. That's how them's the break sometimes. Anyway, at 12, you choose a talent or a +2 to distribute to stats. It's really good stuff. I like this for the priest. And here are the priest spells. So, at level 1, 2 first level spells, level 2, 3 first tier 1 spells, 3 tier 1 spells, and one tier 2. So basically when you get these, it's 10 plus this. You make a spell check, and if you roll under 11, like critically under 11, bad shit happens. So when you get to tier 5, you have to roll a 15 or higher. That's how it works. But yeah, look at this. Look at this artwork. Look at the holy symbol scaring off the skeleton warrior there. Skeleton warriors. Hold on now. Actually, before we do that, I am just going to hop over here. I'm going to try and fix my redeems. I'm sorry, Ray, that the Hobbits to Isengard didn't work. Let's see here. It should be Streamlabs. No, not Streamlabs. Shit. God damn it. What is the link I need for my sound alerts? Oh, it is Streamlabs. Yeah, actually, yeah. Now you just get Streamlabs open. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Log in. I'm just going to get this fixed and then we'll continue on. Log in with Twitch. What the ride? Sorry, I made a Kamen Rider reference there. Let's see here now. Why is this not working? Oh, I need to get a plugin for OBS? No, I'll just try and get the link. So, alert box. Alright. Let me see it. Go. Yeah, okay, let's see. This should fix it. Okay, copy that. Sound alerts. Oh, wait, no, it's sound alerts I need to go to for this. Sorry, guys. No, fix that. I want to fix this because we need our sound alerts. Streamer login. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah. Had to change my password on Twitch because of the incident the other day. That's what's wrong. Alright, so I need to get my... Where is my link? Global alert settings. Should be in here somewhere. Where's my sound alerts? Settings? Oh no, sorry, let me just check chat. You guys might be screaming it at me. Nope, you're not. Okay, just making sure. Where'd it go? I know there's a link I can copy to it. Look, this is taking too long. I guess I'm just gonna have to go back. I'll solve it after stream. Sorry, guys, no alerts for this stream. As much as I want to have them. Anyway, let's talk about the thief class. Rooftop assassin, grinning con artists, or cloaked cat burglars, who can pluck a gem from the claws of a sleeping demon and sell it for twice its worth. All right, so your weapons: you can have a club, a crossbow, dagger, shortbow, or short sword. You can wear leather armor or mithril chainmail, because mithril is silent. You only get 1d4 You better hope you roll at least a 10 on that con mod, otherwise your thief is going to be very squishy. You are wizard squishy thief. All right, backstab. So this backstab is the. Also, I'm surprised you were on just. Yeah, there is a board game one, but you know, either one works. Doesn't I? You know, I could swap that. There is a TTRPG one as well. I could change to that. Yeah, I'll change the TTRPG one. I figured more people would come in. I figured more people would like just chatting, but sure. Let's put on the TTRPG one. I was just considering that like, maybe people would think I'd be playing the TTRPG. Then again, with the title. Oh, it's not showing up. Oh yeah, it's one tabletop. There it is, tabletop RPGs. Alright, there we go. Let's see here now. So, I changed it already, Mooney. It's too late. If you hit a creature who is unaware of your attack, you deal an extra weapon die of damage. Add additional weapon dice of damage equal to half your level, rounded down. That's actually pretty good. Oh, it's working again. Oh, I guess because I just logged into it. Was that all I needed to do? Log into it? I'm glad that. Thank you for finding out if that works, Mooney. Or did you forget? Oh, you didn't hear it from your side? Weird. I heard it from my side. Huh. You did see the alert, but you didn't hear it. Okay, that's weird. That is definitely something I need to... That is definitely something I need to fix. Yeah, I can hear that. Can you hear that? How bad? Bad. Yeah, I'm imagining you couldn't hear that. That is bizarre. I heard it perfectly. Maybe it's because I got it opened up. I might have to just enter the URL again. We can find where the damn thing is. Is the URL? I forget where the... Is it in account settings? No. Setup. Aha! There it is. Found it. Okay, we're fixing this now. Sound alerts. Alright, that's the exact same one. Okay. I don't have it muted. That's strange. Anyway. Let's see. Tangia. I might have to log into Tangia as well. Let me just see. It won't affect any of the other sound alerts, but it might help. No, actually, don't want to open it on that tab. Okay, so... Let me just see Tangia real quick. See if those ones are working. Alright. Join Tangia. Where's login Tangia? Sign in. Continue with Twitch. Authorize. Okay. Okay, that's already in. Oh, you can actually install that as an extension, so that might help. Activate. Done. Okay, there we go. So I got Tangia as a Twitch extension now. All right. There. Still weird that we can't get. Yeah. Anyway, let's read thievery. You are adept in thieving skills, and you have the necessary tools of trade secreted on your person. They take no gear slots. You are trained in the following tasks. You have advantage on any associated checks: climbing, sneaking and hiding, applying disguises, binding and disabling traps, delicate tasks such as picking pockets and opening locks. And the thieves' talents. This is the fun part. Yes, roll 2d6. A 2, you get advantage on initiative rolls. Re-roll if duplicate. Aha! So you can only get the minimum one if you get it a second time. That is very nice. 3 to 5. Your backstab does an extra +1 of dice damage. Loving that. 6 to 9. +2 to strength, dexterity, or charisma. Oh, you could actually have a strength-based thief. That is actually pretty cool. And 12. Choose a talent or +2 to distribute to stats. Okay. There's our thief. I think he's a human thief. He looks very fetching in his medieval attire there. Alright. We got the wizard class. Alright, so Rune, Tattoo to Depths. Bespectacled magi and flame-conjuring witches who dare to manipulate the fell forces of magic. Weapons are dagger and staff. That's it. You don't get armor. This is the only class without armor. And 1d4 per level. So just as squishy as the rogue, but none of the defenses. Oof. That's rough, buddy. You can permanently learn a wizard spell from a spell scroll by studying it for a day and succeeding on a DC 15 intelligence check. Whether you succeed or fail, you expend the spell scroll. Spells you learn in this way don't count towards your known spells. So that's the same. But it looks like only wizards can use spell scrolls. Shit! That's not good for the priest. Like, even if it's a priest spell, they can't use it. Because that did not come up in the priest class. Spellcasting. You know wizard spells. You know 3 tier 1 spells. So, wizards start with an extra spell. That's quite nice. Each time you gain a level, you choose a new wizard spell to learn according to the wizard spells known table. For casting wizard spells, see spellcasting page 44. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So yeah, level 1 you get 3 spells. You know 4 then. So yeah, basically you just have you know an extra spell ahead of the priest. Actually, does the priest get 3 4s and 2 2s? Let's see how many spells. Oh, look at that! 3 3s and 2 2s for the priest. So the priest has less spells than the wizard. I didn't know that. All right. Oh, also, actually, let me just see if this works. Ah, damn! No, that's not right. Okay, so you see this bit of art here? You can see this goblin wizard. He's using a spell. That arrow is meant to go with the spell. Okay, we're going to put it back to how it was. Okay. Wizard talents. 2. Make one random magic item of a type you choose on page 282. You don't get a permanent talent, but you can make a magic item. That is insane. Holy fuck. So 3 to 7. +2 to intelligence stat, or +1 to wizard spellcasting checks. Both are good. I guess if you max out at a +4, you'd want to be adding a +1 to your wizard spellcasting in that situation, because you can't get higher on your intelligence than a +4. All the stats cap out as a +4. You might as well just go to 18, because you don't. If you go to 20, there's no more pluses. That's just how it is in this game. 8 to 9. Gain advantage on casting one spell you know. That is very useful, especially if you get to later level spells. 10 to 11. Learn one additional wizard spell of any tier you know. Do you get extra spells? That is insanely versatile. Choose a talent or +2 points to distribute to stats. That one is typically the 12. Backgrounds. Okay, so the backgrounds are flavor, right? You don't really these are just flavor for your character. This is all the character development they need. Do not bother writing a big long backstory for them, because they're not going to make it. They are not going to make it. You roll for this. So, 1. Urchin. You grew up on the merciless streets of a large city. Wanted. There is a price on your head, but you have allies. Cult Initiate. You know blasphemous secrets and rituals. Thieves Guild. You have connections, contacts, and debts. Banished. Your people cast you out for supposed crimes. Orphaned. An unusual guardian rescued and raised you. So essentially you're Robin if you get orphaned. Or Batgirl, because 2 of the Batgirls are adopted. Wizard's Apprentice. You have a knack and an eye for magic. Jeweler. You can easily appraise value and authenticity. Herbalist. You know plants, medicines, and poisons. Barbarian. You left the horde. Can you imagine getting a barbarian background and you're a wizard? A squishy or a thief. You're a squishy wizard or thief and you got the barbarian background. The barbarian class is coming as well, by the way. So, like, you could be a barbarian in both background and class. So, it's fun. Mercenary. That you fought friend and foe alike for your coin. Sailor, pirate, privateer, or merchant. The seas are yours. So really, sailor's a 3-in-1. Acolyte. You are well trained in religious and rites and doctrines. Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool for the priest. But, you know, I could see it working for the fighter as well. Soldier. You served as a fighter in an organized army. Ranger, the woods and wilds are your true home. Fight, 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 fight. Yeah. Funny thing is, the ranger, that on the website where you can make your characters, Ranger and Bard are exclusive there. And the fact that Ranger and Minstrel are on background here is hilarious, because Bards are just minstrels. And Rangers, well, they're Rangers. So you can be a Ranger as in background, but not as in class. Scholar. You know much about ancient history and lore. So you're basically a smarty pants. Imagine if you roll low on intelligence and you roll Scholar. Fucking great. Noble. A famous name has opened many doors for you. And Chirurgeon. You know anatomy, surgery, and first aid. If anyone rolled that, I would give them a small plus to stabilizing checks when, like, their friends go down. Just a little one. So alignment. Now, I think this should have been evil, good, neutral, instead of chaotic, lawful, neutral. You know? I actually think that would have been better, because that's what they actually mean by these terms. Chaotic characters align themselves with destruction, ambition, and wickedness. Chaotic characters adopt the survival of the fittest mentality. See, that's more evil than chaotic, but you know. Lawful characters align themselves with fairness, order, and virtue. Lawful characters operate from a good of the whole mentality. See, not necessarily, because the law is just a bunch of rules that, you know, I'll leave that to Brendan Lee Mulligan. I'm just gonna leave that to another DM of Irish heritage. Neutral. Neutral characters find a balance between law and chaos. They align themselves with the cycle of growth and decline, adopting a nature must take its course mentality. Yeah, here we got like a good fighter fighting an evil fighter. So I guess he's lawful and he's chaotic. Deities. Okay, here's the fun thing. So deities. The many gods of the universe are personifications of law, chaos, and neutrality. The most well-known gods are listed here. A character may worship any deity or none. Priests must choose one god to serve faithfully. A priest deity can revoke the gift of spellcasting if the priest commits blasphemous acts. So that'll be fun. If that does happen. Most folk worship the four lords, the lawful and neutral gods, who stand for justice, order, and mercy. The malevolent beings worship one of the dark trio, chaotic deities who enviance power, destruction, and cruelty. There were once 9 primary gods, but 2 are the lost, forbidden or forgotten. Many folk still refer to the 9 in the oaths they swear, and ancient stories always begin with beneath the eyes of the 9. Alright, let's talk about the gods. So we got Saint Taragnus, a legendary knight who's the patron of most lawful humans. She ascended to godhood long ago and is the embodiment of righteousness and justice. So, I believe she's like the equivalent of Helm from Forgotten Realms, who's the god of like human paladins over there. I believe this is pronounced Geed, the god of feasts, mirth, and the wilds. Geed is usually peaceful, but primal storms rage when her anger arises. Many elves and halflings worship her. Madeira, the covenant, lawful. Madeira was the first manifestations of the law. She carries every law of reality, a dictate called the covenant, written on her skin in precise symbols. Ord, the unbending, the wise, the secret keeper. He is the god of magic, knowledge, secrets, and equilibrium. Alright, now we get the evil gods. And the lost. Memnon, chaotic. Memnon was the first manifestation of chaos. He is Madeira's twin, a red-maned Leonin being whose ultimate ambition is to rend the cosmic laws of the Covenant from his sister's skin. Oh yeah, because she's got the laws written on her skin. Jesus Christ, that's dark. Ramlat, chaotic. Ramlat is the pillager. The barbaric, the horde. Many orcs worship him and live by the blood rite, a prophecy that says only the strongest will survive a coming doom. Shun the Vile. Shun whispers arcane secrets to sorcerers and witches who call to her in dark hours. She schemes to displace Ord so she can control the vast flow of magic herself. I had to give them like some really metal sounding descriptions. The Lost. 2 of the 9 are lost to the ages, their names expunged from history and memory. Yet their whispered legend lives on in ancient texts and forgotten places. And here we have someone about to stab a heart as a tribute to the gods, I imagine. Titles! These are fun. So you see, we're just going to do the fighter ones to give you guys an idea. Alright? Alright. Oh, you can also have a title of Barbarian, but only if you're a fighter. And that's if you're level 3 to 4, because once you level up to 5, you're a Battle Rager. You're no longer a Barbarian. Okay, so lawful fighters are squires from 1 to 2. Once they level up, because when you level up, you gain more renown. 3 to 4, you're a cavalier. 5 to 6, you're a knight. 7 to 8, you're a thane, which is a demi-lord, essentially. And when you hit 9 to 10, the ultimate levels, your title becomes Lord or Lady. And yeah, you can see the chaotic ones then. You're a knave to start with, then a bandit, then a slayer, and a reaver, and finally a warlord. And then neutral, you're a warrior, a barbarian, a battle rager, or a war chief, or chieftain. Yeah, I went from Arnie to Grog. I don't know why, it just felt right. Oh, my mouth is getting dry from all this talking. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go grab some water. I will be right back. I'm not going to turn off the stream here. I'm just going to turn off my model and I'm just going to get a drink. I'll be 2 seconds, guys. You know, enjoy this thief just camping out on this roof while I'm gone. Be right back. Oh, that's much better. Oh. Put it on the wood, at least. Okay. Okay, I am back. Turning the model back on. Okay, so we read out the fighter titles. We don't need to go through all the titles. They're fun. I mean, have a look at them there if you want to pause to see them. There's the priest ones again. See, paladin's up that lawful priest, but that's enough of that. Languages. So there's a couple of languages here. You got the typical ones: Common, Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant, Goblin, Moran, which is underwater, Orcish, Reptilian, Sylvan, and Thanian, which belongs to furries, essentially. Thanian is the furry language. And then rare languages: Celestial, which is Angel, Diabolic, Demons and Devils, Draconic, I Speak, and Primordial, which is normally elementals, but also like great old ones. We have gear as well. So if you're playing a level 0 character, we're going to make a level 0 character. You start with 1d4 of the following items. So you roll a d4, get 1 to 4 items, and then you roll a d12 depending on what number is the d4. So I'm just going to roll a d4 here, all right? I got a little dice set up beside me. Unfortunately, I don't have a cam for it. I wish I did. So let's see. What did we get here? Oh, we actually rolled a 4. Okay. Alright, so let's roll for the item. So we're playing a level 0 character. First roll. Why does it keep going into the corner where I can't see it? Okay, 11. So this level 0 character will have a club, a dagger, another dagger, and an oil flask. Okay, an oil flask without a lantern. So essentially that's very bad in this game, because 2 daggers and a club, but nothing, an oil flask with no lantern. So they've got no way to see in the dark. They can try and defend themselves, but not very well. So first level characters, on the other hand, they get to buy their gear. They get 2d6. I'm going to roll them just for the sake of it. And that's multiplied by 5. So I rolled an 8. 8 by 5 is 40 gold pieces. That's fucking great. Okay, AC. AC is 10 plus your dex mod. So if you roll a negative, you can have an AC as low as 6, making you really easy to hit. But that's your natural AC. If you get armor, you can cover it up. But if your maximum is a +4, so your natural defense can be as high as 14. Low as 6, high as 14. But you'd want armor on top of that anyway. So arrows, back. So yeah, we're just going to roll past it. So this is all useful stuff you can get. You need your oil flask for your lantern, otherwise you can't fuel your lantern. And you need an actual timer for this game. You have an hour of real world time, before your torch goes out, or your lantern oil is completely empty, or the light spell you cast runs out. Yeah, and I want to run this in Castle. I want to convert the original Ravenloft game for a one-shot of this phase. So if you want to play a modern classic hybrid of Castle Ravenloft with the classic Bela Lugosi, Christopher Lee looking Strahd von Zarovich, not the 5th edition Strahd, the old original 1st edition Strahd. That's what's on the table here. So yeah, you gotta be very careful. You get a crawling kit. So there's only one kit, right? It costs 7 gold. So we rolled 40, right? So that means we'd have 33 gold left to spend on our weapons and armor. And in that, we get a backpack, which is a free slot, and that's carrying our shit anyway. We get flint and steel. You could just call that flint. And that's to light your torches in your lantern. You get 3 rations, and they only take 1 slot. Now, a torch takes 2 slots. Oh, I know, I see. You get 2 torches, and they each take a slot. Okay, that makes sense. Iron spikes, there's 10 of them, but they only take 1 slot. A grappling hook, which you have to tie to your rope, which is 60 feet. So yeah, there you go. And all those together cost more than 7 gold. Also just learned that if the original Strahd looked like Christopher Lee, then 5e publishers were cowards. Yes! Exactly! In fact, I try to practice my Christopher Lee for when I run that Ravenloft one shot in Shadowdark. Ah. I just have to practice my Christopher. I need to rewatch the Hammer Dracula. You like that? I'm glad. Okay, so leather armor. So armor's useless to the wizard. Leather armor and mithril chainmail are the only ones that are good for the thief. So yeah. Let's see here now. So yeah, the mithril version, no penalty to stealth or swim. It's essentially the same as any of those. Oh no, mithril chainmail. So a thief can't wear regular chainmail, but they can wear mithril chainmail. Anyway, yeah. So thieves can wear regular leather armor or the mithril chainmail. Priests can only wear the chainmail or plate mail and the mithril equivalents. The fighter can wear them all, and shields are only wielded by both the priest and fighter. But there are more classes. We'll get to them when we get to the character creation website. A lot of cool stuff. You get all these cool fucking weapons here. You got bastard sword, club, crossbow, dagger, great axe, great sword, javelin, longbow, longsword, mace, short bow, short sword, spear, staff, warhammer. And some of these are versatile. Like the great axe, you can wield with one or two hands. If you wield it in one hand, it does a D8. If you wield it in two hands, it does a D10. So you can have a character that can fight with a shield and a great axe, but if they put their shield away, sacrifice 2 defense, they can do 2 more damage. Possibly 2 more damage with their greatsword. So nice risk reward there. Especially, oh yeah, you get some random names here as well. Like if you don't want to name your character yourself, like here are the names you can roll for. Experience points. Okay, so here's the fun thing. You only need 100 experience points, right? To get to level 10, which is the max level. However, and you can see here, you only get your talents on the odd numbers in the advancements. That's all you get. You get HP every level, but only 5 talents total. Unless you're human, in which case it's 6. But yeah, the way you level up in this game is interesting. You're given tasks and jobs to do, and if you complete those tasks, the DM chooses how much experience you get from that. The game master chooses how much experience you get from that. But you can also level up from carousing. So when we get to the carousing table, I'm just going to show you guys what crazy shit you can do to gain experience. You got to spend some of your gold, but in exchange, you get the chance for experience points and also getting cool as shit items or more treasure. So you can earn your money back, get a bonus thing. It's great. It's great. Anyway, so increased HP, roll your die. Yeah, so there's that. Certain doom is a challenge, not a promise. Araga, half-orc priest. She's the half-orc priest we saw earlier on in the artwork. Random characters. Alright, so you can roll for your spells if you don't want to choose. Like your ancestry, so you roll a d12 and these are what you get. Your deity, your class. But yeah, we don't have to roll that randomly. Trust me, we don't want to do that. Oh hey, look at this cool ass wizard. Alright, magic. Alright, I want to show you. So I already explained here that if you got to do spell casting. So every time you cast, there's no spell slots. You don't run out of magic unless you make a bad roll, right? And that's only for the spell you're trying to do. Sometimes you roll badly, you can't cast that spell again until you take a long rest, but you still have your other spells. And there's 5 tier levels. So basically, as a wizard, it's 1d20 plus your intelligence modifier, or your bonuses to spell casting, which you can get. Priest, it's 1d20 plus your wisdom modifier, and the bonuses you get for spell casting, which you can get as a priest as well. So to successfully cast a spell, it's 1d it's 10 plus their tier level. So you have to roll 11 to 15 depending on the tier of your magic, right? If you succeed, your spell casting check, the spell takes effect. If you fail, the spell does not take effect. You can't cast the spell again until you... Oh, so if you fail, you can't cast the spell again until you complete a long rest. Oh. Critical set. If you roll a natural 20 on your spell casting, you may double one of the spell's numerical effects. The remains in effect on a focus spell until you cast your next focus. So basically, if you roll a nat 20 on a focus, which lasts for a while, that means it lasts. You don't have to keep rolling focus every turn. It's great until you cast another spell. Critical failure. If you roll a natural 1 on your spell casting check, the spell does not take effect. If it was a focus spell, the spell immediately ends. Penance. Alright. So, if you roll a natural 1, that's when you get the penance, I believe. Yeah. So you can like make people spend their gold, but that's not... You gotta go for a mishap. So, level 1 to 2 spells, here's what happens for the wizard. Devastation. Roll twice and combine both effects. Re-roll for further ones. Ooh. So, yeah, that's not good. Let's roll a devastation effect. See what happens to us. 2! We explode! We take 1d8 of damage, which could kill a wizard at level 1. 4! Yeah, that wizard is dead. Well, unless they actually rolled a 4 on their d4 health and have a con mod. Then the wizard might be okay-ish. But yeah. So, penance, that's fun. Wizard mishaps. Yeah. That is like, and like, you know, it goes up. So, devastation, you roll twice. So, blast radius. You and all nearby creatures take 2d6 damage. So it gets worse the higher the spells. In tier 5, you deal 3d8 damage to yourself and all creatures within near. So within 30 feet, you deal 3d8 damage to yourself and anyone around you. Imagine doing that. You kill yourself and your friends, but you also take out the big bad evil guy. We won? Quotation marks? A question mark? Scrolls and wands. On a failed casting attempt, the wand stops working until you complete a rest. So critical failure. Okay. So wand. Using scrolls and wands. With magic. Spellcasters can use them to cast these spells. If a spell is on their list, even if they don't know the spell. To do so... Oh, okay, so the wands are just... wands are more permanent. Basically, you can have like a wand of fireball. And you can use that to cast Fireball. And if you fail, it breaks. On a critical failure. So if you roll on that 1, your wand breaks. And you have to roll on the mishap table. That's bad. Tiers. So your range, duration. How long does the spell effect last? Okay. Yeah, that's... Oh, focus. Some spells... success, spell remains in effect. Failure, your spell ends. If you were focusing, you do not lose the ability to cast a spell. However, if you critically fail on the check, main focus, treat it as a standard critical failure. See page 45 for details. If you take damage or become distracting while focusing due to an earthquake, for example, you immediately make a spell casting check to maintain focus. Okay. And here we get our spells. There's a lot of familiar spells here. You got Acid Arrow, does d6 damage. So you just roll this, and if you succeed with Acid Arrow, you just hit your target and roll d6 damage. That's pretty cool. And it's a focus. So if you hit them, right? That means you just keep rolling a d6 every round until someone breaks your focus. So that's actually really good. Think of how useful that is in a fight against a troll. You got Animate Dead. So you can have a zombie to help you out. You can cast Alarm. You can cast Alter Self. Anti-Magic Shell. Which is range self. That's interesting. Like, you can't cast spells from within it. You have to focus on it as well. But, you know, spells don't work on you. So that's cool. But your magic items probably wouldn't work inside of it. So, well, there you go. Yeah, magic item spells have no effect in the zone, and no magic can enter. Augury, bless, bless it. You give one creature luck, and luck in this game is essentially what's the D&D equivalent? It's inspiration. Luck is inspiration. It works exact same. So bless in this game, you basically just give someone luck. You give someone inspiration. So it's the priests that do that, not the bards. You get Arcane Eye, you get Blind Deafen, Burning Hands, always a good one. You essentially just shoot out a flamethrower. Creature within the area. Oh no, it's anyone within a close range of you. Alright. So basically everyone within 30 feet of you will take 1d6 damage. That's a tier 1. Oh no, you have to pick one creature within that radius. I think. Yes, yeah. Oh no, creatures within the area. So Burning Hands is really good. And it's only tier 1. Holy shit. Yeah, like that's the best spell for a wizard to have if they don't. Oh fuck! There's a bunch of guys surrounding me. Burning Hands, just burn them all. Cleansing Weapon, that's the priest. Oh, it actually does one. So it does 1d4 regular damage, but it can do 1d6 damage against undead. That's cool. Charm Person. Duration 1d8 days. Oh my god! You can have someone for slightly over a week under your control. Cloud Kill, Command. That's priest gets command. Well, Confusion, Control Water, Commune. Create Undead. So this is a better version of the last one because you summon a Wight or a Wraith, which are way stronger than a zombie. But you have to get to tier 5, so that's really strong. And it doesn't say focus, so you can summon both the zombie and a Wight to help you out. So you can cast Animate Dead and create Undead. So you can have two. You can play a Necromancer, is what I'm saying. Cure Wounds, Detect Thoughts, Dimension Door. You teleport yourself within. Yeah, and one other willing creature to any point you can see. That's awesome. Disintegrate. Divine Vengeance, Dispel Magic, Dominion. Of course, you get Fireball, and it's 46. A near cube-sized area. Jesus. Yeah. Look at all these spells. Anyway. So, we're going to get to character creation in a minute. I'm going to do character creation. I want to talk about some of the monsters, though. We're going to have a little peek at them. Oh, yeah, look at all these carrion crawlers here. They call them something else, but these are essentially carrion crawlers from D&D. These horrible bugs. Sorry if anyone's afraid of bugs, actually. I should move away from that. Alright, the Shadowdark is like a sleeping... Okay, so we don't want to talk about the adventure too much. Alright? Yeah, so those are the luck tokens, using stats. Oh yeah, combat is straightforward. You get one movement and one action. That's it. There's no bonus actions or reactions or anything like that. That's all you do. Contested checks, time, real time, time passes. So you got to keep an eye on your torch. Initiative. So yeah, establish the initiative order. Player turn, GM turn, etc. All of that. Crawling. So light sources. This is what I was talking about earlier. You need a torch or a lantern, and they last for an hour. And it's the DM who keeps an eye on this. You don't know when your thing is going to go out, but the DM does. So that adds a lot of tension. So you got to be careful. Total darkness. The environment becomes deadly. Because here's the thing. If you play as a goblin, you don't get dark vision. If the DM uses goblins, they do. They can see you. Only monsters that are your opponents can see in the dark. Because the idea is that the goblins you fight, goblins and kobolds you fight, are underground goblins and kobolds. They've lived in the darkness their entire life, whereas the ones you play as are used to the surface. They're not used to the dark. Therefore, they go blind in the dark. Just so you know. So swim is usually half your swim speed. And if you have to make a con check on each of your round to hold your breath if you're underwater. So, yeah. Kind of dangerous. Ooh, on a failed con check, take 1d6 damage until you exit the hazard. Ooh. Alright. Danger level, unsafe, check every 3 hours. Risky, check every 2 hours. Deadly, check every 1 hour. But yeah, how do we determine... Oh, I guess we have to roll for a success. Anyway. Campfire. Campfire lasts up to 8 hours. Yeah, that's fine. Sneaking, detecting, surprise, combat. Okay, yeah. Where are the fucking monsters? Overworld travel, downtime. Oh, carousing! Yes, we want to talk about carousing, because carousing is another way to get experience points. So, you know, if you win a fight, unless the fight was an objective, you don't get experience. So, if you find a big red dragon and somehow you and your party manage to kill it, no, you don't get experience because it wasn't part of your job. You can only get experience points by doing jobs and things that are assigned to you. But another way to get experience points is carousing. So you gotta spend your gold, right? So basically, as we say in Ireland, you have to go on the tear. You have to go on the lash, right? You have to do a whole booze bend it. You have to go through a whole booze bender, right? Pub crawl. Depending. So a worthy night of drinking and festivity. You spend 30 gold. That's just regular carousing. You roll a d20, you spend 30 gold. That's it. 100 gold. A full day and night of revelry, gambling, and recounting your exploits. So you get a +1. 300. 2 days of crawling, dozens of taverns to sing, to buy rounds and celebrate. You get a +2. 600 gold. A 3-day voyage into the finest food, drinking, gambling you can find. +3 bonus. Now there's a risk to this. You could be spending a shit ton of gold and not get much reward for it. 900 gold. A hazy week-long bender that runs multiple well-known taverns dry. +4. Spend 1200 gold. A spirited feat lasting 10 days that attracts hordes of revelers and takes over an entire town or city district. That gives you a +5. 1,800 gold pieces. Woo! If you have that kind of money, you might as well spend it on carousing. 2 legendary weeks of drinking and debauchery, widespread enough to take over a whole city. It attracts countless celebrants, including famous nobles and bards. The streets run red with wine. And that's how you get a +6 bonus. Carousing outcome. You roll a d8 and you have a bonus. So, at minimum, if you roll a 1, you get this 7. You get 4 experience points and a famous bard ally. Alright? So if you can only get a 1 on a d20. You wake up blearily in your bed, gain 2 experience points. Not great. You roll a 2. You can only get this if you only get the +1 bonus or lower. So you are locked in the stocks for 1d4 days and find 20% of your total wealth for setting a building on fire, getting 2 experience points. 3. You wake up in the gutter with 15% of your total wealth spent. Gain 3 experience points. Alright. You hazily remember donating 10% of your total wealth to a glib priest. Gain 3 experience and a priest ally. So you basically get a priest NPC who can heal you and protect you. It's not too bad. You're fined 10% of your total wealth for starting a full tavern brawl. Gain 3 experience points and be barred from a tavern. The Thieves Guild bilked you for 5% of your total wealth. Gain 4 experience points. Lose 5% of your gold. You lead an entire tavern in a wild, insulting song about a disliked noble. Gain 4 experience points and a famous bard ally. So that's at minimum if you get the 6, if you spend the 1800. 8. You survived a blindfolded knife throwing demonstration on unscathed. Gain 4 experience points and a luck token. So you can get that. That is the most you can get for free. That is the most you can get for free if you land an 8. 9. So you need the +1 for this one at least. By talent 50% or trickery 50%, you beat a rival crawler in a test of skill. Gain 5 experience points and an NPC ally or enemy. I guess the DM just flips a coin there. Or GM, I should say. 10. You need at least +2 for this one. An angry wizard casts a deadly spell at you, but reflected off your cup. Gain 5 experience points and a luck token. Now, the experience here doesn't sound like a lot, but you have to remember you just need 100 experience points to get to level 10. That's it. Oh, sorry, just need to make sure I got a nice sip there. You defeated a noble in a highly wagered drinking contest. Gain 5 experience points and a debt owed by the noble. Oh, that's great. That's a lot of fun for the DM. Alright, so you pull an ill-advised heist inside a feared sorcerer's tower. Gain 6 experience points and an 80 to 100 item from your treasure table. Ooh. So I get to pick that one for the party. But, you know, they make an enemy out of a sorcerer, so, you know. 14 or higher. So that's the absolute max. You do need to spend 6 for that. You need to get the +6 for this one. And you need to roll an 8. You wake up deep inside the local ruler's stronghold, holding one of their priest's family heirlooms. Footsteps approach. Gain 6 experience points and 90 to 100 item from the treasure table if you escape. Fun. Alright, so yeah, that's just gameplay and stuff. Okay. Examples of play, we don't need that. Hey, there's all the characters that are mentioned in little text boxes. We got our Raga, our half-orc. Oh. Ah, damn! Oh! Can you hear that? Because I can hear that. Alright. I can still hear it. It played twice for some reason. You redeemed it once. Did you hear it, Mooney? Anyway. Oh. Oh, thank you, Mooney. I appreciate that. You're a star, Mooney. You're a star. Alright, your roll, blah, blah, blah. We don't need this. Okay, moving on. Adventure hooks, blah, 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 blah. You guys can learn this on your own. Light mishaps. Okay, so you. Oh, here's ways all of this can be snuff out your light. Oh, oh, so you have to protect it or your flames go out. Oof. Okay, anyway. We'll worry about multiplayer another time. Let's talk about the monsters, and then we're going to start making characters because we can. Oh yeah, you also get a name of the adventure. This you get to roll for it. Let's roll for an adventure real quick. Let's roll for an adventure. All right. So detail 1. Okay, that was a 1. Rescue the 17. Rescue the merchant. 9. Of the ancient lineage. You have to rescue the merchant of the ancient lineage. 1. All right. Adventure. Oh, so we got to name as so we get to name the site. Okay. So, where is the merchant of the ancient lineage stuck? 7. Crypt of the 11. Okay, Crypt of the Shimmering. Crypt of the Shimmering Depth. Oh, sounds like he's stuck in an underwater tomb. That sounds fun. All right. Or in a crystal mine. Either way. NPCs. Yeah, you can roll for your... Oh my god. Look at these freaks. Oh my god. Look at them. Oh, that does look like first edition D&D art. It's hilarious. NPC qualities. Yeah, occupation. That's a lot of fun. Party name. Oh, so this is for your rival party. Anyway, NPC names. I don't need that. Although this does give you more names for dwarf, elf, goblin, halfling, half-orc, and human. So there is another one. So you can pick between the NPC list or the player list for your character name if you want to roll for it. You know. Or you can give them like a weird syllable if you want. Oh, they got nicknames for titles. But anyway. Moving on. Where the fuck are the monsters? Yeah. We got taverns, shops, all good. Oh yeah, there's crazy art here. Let me just... Will it work? Nope. Because it's on the wrong pages. Alright, we're just going to keep going. These are different districts, different encounters you can have. We're just scrolling past this. I want to see the monsters. Ah ha ha, here we go. There's a way to make monsters here. But I'd rather show off a couple of the ones I want to show you guys. Just a few. Look at that aboleth. Anyway. There's an Ankeg. Big old bug. Sorry if anyone doesn't like bugs. Basilisk. A Boulay. Which is also known as a land shark, but they don't really look like sharks, so I'm fine with them. Ooh, that's a cockatrice. Dark Mantle. I'm surprised that they could actually put that in. Because I thought that there is a Balor. Sort of like based on... He's a really fucked up Balrog. Oh, look at this. Look at this weird freaky imp. I think it's an imp. Anyway, oh, dinosaur. There's a T-Rex. Yeah, there's some dinosaurs here. Fucking love dinosaurs. Dragons. Fuck yeah. So the closest one to me, because I use electricity, would be a desert dragon. I don't normally live in the desert. I prefer to live in the mountains. But I would be immune to electricity. I'd have lightning breath, a straight line, 5 inches wide. So that would roughly be, yeah, 5 foot wide, a whole square essentially. Extending double near from the dragon. Do love that. So that means I get to fire a line that's 60 foot long. Dexterity 15 or 48 damage. Disadvantage on check if wearing metal armor. So yeah. I also get to cast a mirage where I get to make 3 illusory duplicates. So that's fun. I might modify this if I ever ran myself as a boss. You know? Be fun. Of course, the fire dragon's the red dragon. Forest dragon's the green dragon. Frost dragon's the white dragon. And swamp dragon's the black dragon. This is this black wingless beast. Oh! The black dragon doesn't have wings. That's interesting. And has smog breath. Instead, so they changed the black dragon a bit. We also got a sea dragon. So basically a sea serpent. And it gets storm breath and a water spout. So very cool. Anyway. We got the drow. We got druids. We got the duergar, but only one duergar. The only dwarf we fight. We got elementals. We got elves. Regular elves. We got the drow and elves. We don't get fight regular dwarves or halflings. I think that's bullshit. Got our oh, we got giants. We got cloud giants, fire giants, frost giants, stone giants, a goat giant. A giant with goat-like legs. Okay, I missed that one. That is hilarious. A hill giant and a storm giant. Oh, gibbering mouthers. These freaky fucking things up here. Goblins. Frick. Look at that. Look at that griffin right there. That is somewhere. Got some hags. Harpy, Spooky Ghost. Oh, actually, look at this Kraken art. Like, you don't see the whole Kraken. It is terrifying. Look at it. And it gets 4 attacks, 4 tentacles, or 1 storm lightning bolt. Like, very scary. Of course, you get the Lich, and also a leprechaun. We're going to ignore the leprechaun. I find the leprechaun offensive. They just fix shoes. They don't have a fucking pot of gold. Oh, that Minotaur is so badass. Mordanticus the Flayed. So, like, we got our Super Lich here. But he doesn't actually curse people. He's actually just he's actually someone you can go talk to if you want some secret knowledge. And there he is. He's like a mummy with a crown. There's Mordanticus. And also you get regular mummies who just go around beating people up. Can't be damaged by fire. Takes 2 damage from it. Ooh. Yeah, they can be damaged by magical sources or fire. So that's the only way you can hurt a mummy. Okay, let's see here now. Where is the 10-eyed Oracle and the Tarrasque? That's what I want to show you guys. Where is the Tarrasque? We're getting through the S's. 10-eyed Oracle. Okay, so this guy's the guy on the cover, right? He is the only beholder in Shadowdark, and he only has the 10 eye stalks. He does not have the central eye. The moon runs red in the sea, and the whispers of the watchers in darkness proclaim, your time has come. The 10-eyed Oracle. Let's read out the blurb. A floating mass of rubbery skin crusted with barnacles. Its 10 eye stalks writhe like snakes, and a deep, circular scar mars its central body, blinding what was once a large central eye above it, a lipless maw. The 10-eyed Oracle stalks the Shadowdark, blurbeling mad prophecies and somehow moving freely between the lightless fathoms of the earth. The keeper of the deep lore suspect the 10-eyed Oracle was once a benevolent ally of mankind, but an unknown calamity drove it to insanity and reckless hatred. That'd be a good blurb if you were introducing him for a fight. But also you get the Tarrasque. I want to point you here. So you can only go up to level 10, right? And so roughly 4 level 10 players should be an equal match for a level 10 monster. The Tarrasque is level 30. It has 140 hit points. 4 party members at level 10 might not have 140 hit points. They might not even have 3-digit hit points. They'd be lucky to hit 60. And yeah, the only damage by magical sources, hostile spells targeting the Tarrasque are DC 18 to cast. So you need to actually be hitting those spells pretty high. It is very dangerous. So you have to get up and close with melee attacks or roll really well on your magic. Or you can use bows and arrows. So there's that. Tarrasque. Look at it. Look at it. This is the Tarrasque right here. That's its mouth. It was drinking water and the water's just spilling from it. It's like rising up out of the ocean or something. Its back literally looks like mountains. There's mountains and forests in front of it. Look at how fucking huge this is. I just realized the music stopped. Yeah, better hit that up again. All right. Anyway, we also get the Wandering Merchant. This could be the merchant you rescue. Basically, he's a trickster kind of guy. If you steal from him, you get cursed. It's great. Anyway, I think we've done enough of that. So we talked a lot about these characters. So now I think it's time we make a level 0 character, and then we're going to make a level 1 character. We're going to do this manually first, and then we're going to make a character on the website. Alright? Alright. Here's the fun thing, though, about the level 0 characters. If you're running a gauntlet with level 0 characters, each player at the table, so let's say there's 4 players, each of them has to make 4 characters, and they use 1 character at a time. When 1 character dies, they're substituted by their next character. So you have essentially 4 chances to get through that dungeon. Each person has 4. So here we go. Oh, Jesus, my model just freaked out there. Okay. So before we do that, before we choose anything, we have to roll our stats. So we got to start with strength. So you're not allowed to choose what your dice rolls are. You only get 3 dice, and you have to roll them, all right? I got 3d6s here. I can't show you, but you just have to trust the honor system here. Ooh. That is a 5 for strength. I believe that is a -3. Right, so we're not playing a fighter then. Alright, rolling our dex next. Okay, well this character's level 0 anyway. So that was better. That's 9 for dex. That's still a -1. Unfortunately. Alright, so next is our constitution modifier. Oh no, that's a 4. Which means it's a negative. That's a -3 again. Oh boy. Alright. Next up is intelligence. Now, if we don't get a 14 in any of these 6 rolls, we can start this from scratch. Right, so we got a 4, a 3, and a 2. That's another 9. Another -1. Not doing too great here. Okay. Ooh, that's a 12. 12 for wisdom. Okay, so if this character survives, they could be a priest. Very squishy priest, but nonetheless a priest. Okay, let's roll a charisma. Alright, so that's... Ooh, okay, so that's 11 plus 2. 13. Alright. No. 11, yeah, that's... So, we did not get a 14. We could re-roll this, so... Should we re-roll this, chat? Should we try and give our level 0 character a fighting chance? Give you a couple seconds there to decide. Re-roll or no re-roll? Should we keep this or try again? Because we have to start from scratch. Do 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 do. Okay, I'm deciding. I say we roll again. All right, we're going to start again. Actually, can I highlight all of these? Let me see. No, I can't. Let's start again. Empty these 12 boxes. We're going to try and roll this level 0 peasant again, who's been forced into a dungeon crawl. So you don't get a class at level 0. You only get your ancestry and some items. Okay, so we're going to try this again. So we're going to roll 3d6s. Okay, that's a 10. Already an improvement. Now that's just a +0 though, so that's no negatives, just a flat roll. That's good. Alright. So we roll 3d6 again. Holy that's a 13. Okay. But that is a +1. We could actually make this person a ranged fighter. If let's see if we can get another good roll. Constitution. Constitution's a 10. Okay, no negatives there. So that's good. Alright. +0, we'll say. Okay. Shame I didn't get a +1 there, but well. Yeah, the only way I could actually get any hit points is if I rolled a 14 or higher. Yeah, because a 14 would get me a +2. Well, that's still 1 hit point. Yeah, the only way I could get 2 hit points is if I rolled a 16. An 18, rather. Okay, intelligence. Intelligence is 7. Definitely not going to be a wizard. Okay. That is -2, I believe. Alright, we roll another 3 for wisdom. That's a 6. That's again a -2. Woof. Alright. Charisma. That's a 10. Alright. So, you know, kind of dexterous. Not very wise or smart, though. If this character ends up surviving, right, they could be so their AC is 11 because it's 10 plus 1. Yeah, so 10 plus their dex. All right, now we get to roll their gear, and then we'll pick their ancestry after that. All right. No, we'll pick their ancestry first. Okay, I'm going to roll for the ancestry. So I'm going to roll a d6. So dwarf is 1. Let me just, yeah, I'll go through what's in order in the book. So dwarf is 1, elf is 2, goblin is 3, half orc is 4, halfling is 5, and human is 6. All right. 3. So this is a goblin. This is a goblin commoner. His stats make a lot of sense right now. Or their stats. We don't know if it's a guy or girl yet. Alright, now. We roll a d4, and then we have to roll on the level 1 character sheet, depending on how many items. So we'll roll a d4. How many items? 2 items! Okay. So I gotta find this level 0 character sheet. Where is it? I'm just looking for it in the actual physical book. Aha. Level 0. So I have to roll 2d12. A 1. So the goblin gets a torch. Alright, so they're able to find their way around in the darkness. That's cocked. I have to roll that again. 8. Iron spikes. Those aren't weapons. Those are... Alright. Iron... spikes... times 10. So this goblin does not start with any weapons. That is unfortunate. Okay. So this goblin doesn't get any attacks. Alright, I'm going to roll for the goblin name now. Let's see where the goblin names are. Alright, so there are 20 goblin names. Going to roll the d20. No, that's the dwarf name. Riggs! This goblin's name is Riggs. Oh, poor old Riggs. He's not going to get very far. So hold on, I'm just going to say file, save as. Yeah, let's go Shadowdark. Riggs, the level 0 goblin. Now you guys can see where I'm saving this. Riggs, goblin commoner. There we go. So if I ever want to play as Riggs, I got him in the back of my pocket there. All right then. So I am going to open up the Shadowdark PDF again, and this time we're going to make a first level character. Okay. So we're starting at first level. Oh, that is way too small. I did not want to hit that. Hold on, just 100%, please. There we go. Okay. So we're going to make a... We're going to have to roll our 3d6s again. All right? So let's see here. So strength first. That's a 12. Okay. So far, so good. We might be able to play as a fighter. Alright. Roll another 3d6. That is an 8. So Dex is not great. Dex is okay, but like that's still a negative. And that will actually mean that default AC. So basically our Goblin Commoner has better AC than this level 1 character already. But that's without armor. Oof, 7 for Constitution, so that's a -2. Not great. And we will re-roll once if I don't roll a 14. So Intelligence. That is 6. Oh my god, no, this character's not very good at all. That is also -2. Like strong, but not very, yeah. Not very, oof. 6 again. How did this character make it this far? They're kind of strong, but not much else. Okay, so that's a 9, 11. So, okay, so that wasn't great. So we're going to re-roll. See if we get a 14 or a set. So we're going to re-roll once. Okay, so we got to refresh this. Oh yeah, I can just keep hitting undo. I don't need to clear it out one at a time. There, okay, now let's re-roll. Alright, that's a 12 again for strength. Weird coincidence, but okay, I'll take it. Alright. So yeah. This is a real tricky system. So if you get a 14 and say you roll a 6 on everything else, you're stuck with that character. Ooh. 17 for dexterity. Okay, we're doing way better. So that's a +3. So already this character has a 13 AC, and that's without armor. Constitution. Okay, so that's a 5, a 2. What's the third one? 12. Okay. Holy shit, we're doing way better now. +1. We could actually make a ranged fighter with this one. Okay. So yeah, we've already got a ranged fighter, so it doesn't matter if these 3 are bad. Plus we can't re-roll any... Oh! Holy fuck! 18? What the... Oh god. Oh, people are going to think I'm bullshitting this. People are going to think I'm bullshitting this. So super smart. Could be a wizard. Could be a healthy... we know what? You know what? We could make a healthy wizard. We could make a real healthy wizard. Wisdom. Let's see here now. So that's... Oh, shit. I think I flipped that one. Oh, so that's an 8. So I have to re-roll this d6. 10. Okay, so wisdom's 10. Alright, so that is... that is a +0. Okay, charisma. Let's see what we get here. That's 11. Okay, so that's just... Yeah. Holy shit, though. That was real good. Alright, so far our default AC is 13, unless we wear armor. So we could be a wizard, or a ranged fighter. But since the intelligence is so high, I think we should go for wizard. Okay, we're going to go for wizard. What ancestry, though? I'll roll for ancestry, same rules. No, I won't roll for ancestry. The best one for wizard is either human, elf, or halfling. No, human, elf, or goblin. So... Since we already got a goblin, I think I'm going to go for elf. I'm going to go for elf. We're going to go for an elf wizard. Alright. And so, oh yeah, actually I forgot to put some stuff down for the goblin. Like languages. Hold on. Oh, and their alignment. So languages. Let me just write this down real quick. Common and goblin. Goblin. And also keen senses. Right. Can't be. Like fat finger a lot. Can't be surprised. All right. That's the goblin, actually. Oh, you gotta pick an alignment now. Let's just go for neutral for the goblin. And we'll say the goblin worships Ord, who I believe is a neutral deity. So that's the goblin done. Now the goblin is done. Okay. Now, the elf. Languages known Common, Sylvan. So, Common, Sylvan, and Elven. Okay. Well, Elvish, but whatever. Right, and you also get Farsight, so +1 bonus to spell casting. +1 to spell casting. Alright, so that means extra +1. So essentially, already our elf gets a +5 to the spell checks. So roll a d20 for tier 1 spell, and if I roll a 5 or lower, that's the only way I fail. I rolled a nat 1. Okay, that's what I get for talking shit. But let's try that again. Different spell. 15. That's a 20. Yeah, I could succeed a tier 5 spell with that. Okay, so we're going level 1 here. 1. We'll go elf. Elf. Let me just get rid of the R. Elf and wizard. There. All right. We are going to give you neutral for your alignment as well. We're just going to keep things neutral. Okay. Your HP is a D4. So we're going to roll a D4 and add up our +1. Hey, 4. That's really good. Well, I rolled a 3, so 3 + 1 is 4. So 4 hit points. So yeah, this is actually a really fucking good elf wizard. Also, like, so spells. Here 1. Right, so right off the bat, I already know. Mage armor, because even with the AC of 13, it can be better. Mage armor, mage armor, burning hands, and light. All right, we got our spells picked. Now we're going to go to we're going to go to background next. Oh, we didn't roll background for the goblin either. So the goblin and the elf we need to get background for. Oh, there's the background. Okay, so roll for the goblin's background first. 10. Goblin's a barbarian apparently with those stats. Oh, well, actually, yeah, I could believe that. A barbarian peasant. Well, this goblin probably came from a barbarian tribe. So yeah, there we go. That's that finished. Okay, now we roll for our elf. 5. Banished. Oh. This elf was banished. Very interesting. Well, I think we might actually change this to chaotic then. Pick one of the chaotic gods after this. All right. Da, 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 da. I think we're going to go for Shun the Vile. That's his deity. Or their deity, I don't know. Alright, level 1 wizard's title. For chaotic. An adept. Okay. And now we roll for gear. So we roll 2d6 and multiply it by 5. 4, not great. So 4 by 5, that's 20 gold. We're not starting with a lot. I know that our carrying capacity is 10. Well, oh, it's actually 12 because we got a strength mod of our 12. So yeah, that's good. We can carry 10 things, but we only have 20 gold pieces to spend them on. All right. So first things first, I'm going to spend 7 gold on the crawling kit. So backpack goes into the free to carry. And then we get our other slots. So we get our flint. I'm just going to call it flint instead of flint and steel. Flint. Torch. We have 2 of those. So they each take an item slot. So I'll put them each in one. We have 3 rations, but 3 rations take 1 slot. 3 rations. X2. Oh no, X3. Alright. Iron spikes times 10. Again, iron spikes only take 1 if it's 1 slot, if it's 10 of them. Alright. And 6 is the grappling hook. Grappling hook is useless without the. It's not like a cable launch grappling hook like Mabel has, unfortunately. And then we have a rope that's 60 feet. Pretty damn good. Okay. So next is now we have 13 gold left after that. Wizards can't wear armor, so that's why we have mage armor. We need to buy some stuff. So I am going to spend half a gold piece or 5 silver pieces for a staff. Because a wizard can wield a staff. Alright? That's 12. I'm going to put 5 silver pieces here. We're going to put a staff in. Alright? And another thing a wizard can wield is a dagger. So dagger, that costs me 1 gold piece. I have 11 gold pieces and 5 silver pieces left. Alright, so. And we have 3 slots left. So let me just see here. Another thing I think we definitely need is a torch. Because a lantern. Lanterns are better than torches, quite frankly. So we need to spend. So we need to buy a lantern, which is 5. And an oil flask, which 5 gold pieces for a lantern and 5 silver pieces for an oil flask. So there go our silver pieces. And we're down to 6 gold pieces. So, lantern. Oil flask. Okay. Now, we have 1 more slot. And I think we should. What should I get for the last bit? I am going to. I'm going to spend that now on extra rations, which is a gold piece and 5 silver pieces. So that'll put me down to 4 gold pieces, 5 silver. We're just going to put rations by 3. So, you know, extra food doesn't hurt. Alright, so that is our elf almost done. So, hold on. Attacks. We got staff, which is a +3 to hit because dexterity. How much damage does the staff do? The staff does 1d4 damage. One d4. I think that's like bludgeoning damage. Yeah, staff is two-handed. 1d4. And then the dagger, also +3 to hit. Uh, 1d. How much does this dagger do? Also d4? Yes, also d4. Right. And then Burning Hands. DC 11. And that is 1d4 near. All right, there we go. Our elf is nearly done. We just need to name them. So I say we roll on the elf names again. Character names. Okay, so I'm going to roll a d20. We rolled a 6. The elf's name is Varos. Alright. Now, that is how you make the character manually. The HP seems low, but that's actually pretty fucking good for a wizard. Like, really good for a wizard in this game. Like, it's a +1 con. So let me tell you this. The maximum HP a wizard can have at level 1, right, is a d4 +4 if you roll an 18 on your constitution. So 4 + 4 is 8. That is the highest HP a level 1 wizard can have. And that's if they're very lucky. Most wizards will have 1 HP. Because they'll either have a negative modifier or a flat 0. And then they roll a 1. You know? So, that's unfortunately the breaks. But you know, could be worse. Could be worse. Alright, so we're going to save Varos now. Let's see here now. So, file. Save as. Let's just save this in Shadowdark RPG. Varos. Elf Wizard. Level 1. I'll have these pre-made characters for people who want to play them. Like, I can give them to someone else. Say, hey, do you want to play this wizard I made? Here you go. So this wouldn't be for me. Also, we have Riggs, the Goblin Commoner. Now, I'm going to change something over here. So for the next part of our stream, we're going to make our characters on... Let me just see here. Which is the right one? Window capture it is, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to turn off window capture. Aha. So we're going to go create a character now. All right? Right. So let us design a character. We're going to randomly generate a bunch of level 0 characters real quick. So this is Shadowdarklings. This is essentially, if you sign up for it, this is, you can have up to 40 characters if you're free. So if it's free, you get 43 characters, and you also get all these bonus features. Let me show you. So you get an extra race, the Kobold, and here are all the classes you can get: a Bard, Basilisk Warrior, Desert Rider, Knight of St. Idris, a Pit Fighter, a Ranger, a Ras Godai, a Sea Wolf, a Seer, a Warlock, and a Witch. So you get a shit ton more if you use this. Scrolls 1 through 3 you can buy right now. Scroll 4 hasn't come out yet. The Bard, Ranger, and Kobold are unique to here. Sorry, I'm just going to move this over here so I can actually see. So, Shadowdark Links is a great little website. So, first we're going to make a bunch of level 0 characters. So, we're going to generate 4 random level 0 characters. Alright? So, we got Liram the Elf, whose background is a healer. Alb the Halfling, who's from the Thieves Guild. Scan the Dwarf, who is a trader. And Aaron the Elf Acolyte. Okay, so let's see. Let's see here now. What are their... So, yeah. Okay, so Liram, at least, gets a club, a dagger, and a crowbar. So Liram can defend himself. Alb the Halfling gets a grappling hook and a short bow with 5 measly arrows. Caltrops 1 bag. Okay. Scan the Dwarf Trader can at least, you know, give everyone torchlight. And the Elf Acolyte has a grappling hook with no rope. And they have 3 grappling hooks with no rope. And 10 iron spikes. Like, Aaron the Elf's like, aha, I got a grappling hook and spikes. Where's your rope, Aaron? Oh, shit. That's hilarious. Alright, so we're going to export that. So, yeah, you see, that's quick and easy. We're not going to... So, we're randomly generating those. So, 4 level 0. I'm just going to throw those in my Shadowdark RPG. So, we'll have a look at those PDFs after we're done here. So, now we're going to design a level 1 character. You can't design a level 0. You can only design a level 1. I don't know why. So, let's see here. So, we'll roll for the background. Urchin. Cool. Okay, now we roll for stats. Alright, you see, that was quick and easy. And look here. It recommends what we should do. We could either be a Basilisk Warrior or a Pitfighter. Now, we did roll a 14. So, unfortunately, that's that picked for us. So, we should pick either a Basilisk Warrior or a Pitfighter. I'm going to pick a Kobold. Because Kobold's not one we get in the book. And I don't think a Pitfighter or a Basilisk Warrior has... so I'm just going to give the Kobold a luck token. I'm going to pick the Basilisk Warrior. Or the Kobold. Because Basilisks, Kobolds, you know, keep the reptile theme. You get a Petrifying Gaze. That's actually pretty cool. Basilisk, well, you have advantage on con checks to avoid penalties. Stone Skin. Yeah, so this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Alright, so let's roll for our class talent. Okay, 2, you find a Basilisk Egg, a Loyal Hatchling emerges. In roll... Oh, we can actually get a Basilisk Hatchling. That's actually pretty cool. +1 weapon. You can actually get like up to 5 Basilisk Hatchlings. So that's cool. +1 to weapon attacks and damage. Okay. We'll need it because we have -1 to both attack and dex. Roll for hit points. 7 hit points. Not bad. Roll for golden gear. We got 35, so yes, we're going to buy a crawler kit. We have 10 gear slots because we got less than 10 strength. So if you have strength of 10 or lower, you only get 10 gear slots. If you get higher than that, though, you can have up to 18 gear slots. And then the fighter gets a +2 on that as well. So with the hauler ability, so the fighter, if they roll an 18, they can carry up to 20 items at level 1. Pretty good. Alright, so we gotta buy ourselves a weapon. Okay, so let's see here now. What am I able to... So, no armor. I can choose between a boomerang club or a spear. I'm gonna choose the spear then. Weapons, we're gonna pick a spear. Okay, let's get the obsidian spear. That does more damage. And it costs less gold. Oh, that's breakable. Okay, let's get the regular spear then. The regular spear. And we'll get a spear thrower as well, considering we can do that. Let's also get... Let's get a boomerang, because that'll give us a range attack. Okay. There we go. So now we have our kobold with the... We will pick a chaotic alignment because you can turn people to stone. We also got the Norse gods in here, which is fun. We'll pick Loki. Yeah, let's pick Loki. Alright, we gotta pick a name for our kobold. I'm gonna call him in honor of a friend who I'm playing Pathfinder with. I am going to name this kobold Rocky, after their pet basilisk dragon from the last D&D game we played in that group. Before we moved on to... Yeah, okay. So, there we go. And we are going to export that. Alright, so we're going to make it form fillable in case we want to level them up. We're also going to save. We're going to save that character because that's fun. Alright, PDF. Alright, so Rocky. Basilisk Warrior. Level 1. Save. Alright. So we're going to go back now to our PDF screen. Turn window capture back on. There we go. And I'm going to open up those 2 PDFs that we just made. Why does that say open that? Oh, I might try and... There. What? Okay, I think I'm just going to have to close these and just try and open it myself. Okay, Shadowdark RPG. Okay, so let's open up Rocky. So here we have Rocky, and it's all filled out for us. Okay, I see there's some glitch. Oh, wait, no. This is because he can't hold it. So these are all blacked out. He actually has a decent amount of gold left. So he needs to get to 10 experience points before his first level. He's a kobold. He's a basilisk warrior. So I might actually let someone play this one. I might actually give this one to someone else. So he can begin his session with either +1 spellcasting. He can have +1 spellcasting or a luck token. I'd say luck token because he doesn't learn spells. But he has his basilisk ability. The petrifying gaze. Anyone who meets your gaze, has to roll. That's fun. Basilisk warrior, stone skin. 2 plus half level round down is okay. And so that explains the AC. Alright, knack. Begin each session with a luck token. Okay, yeah, there we go. Alright, so that's Rocky. Now we're going to open up our 4 level 0. Let's see what we got. Okay. Here they are. Our 4 level 0 characters. They actually have some pretty good stats. It's just they have shit gear. But yeah, that's our entire party. Okay. So with that, we've hit the end of our stream. That's all I've really wanted to show everyone. We had a 2-hour 20-minute stream. That's actually pretty good. So I'm going to go to Twitch now, and I'm going to see who's on. Let's see who we could raid out to. Oh, hey, Rufus is on. Rufus is having a hard time with their computer. I think, yeah. Let me just get up to. We're gonna raid out to Rufus. I haven't raided to Rufus this week yet. Go to creator dashboard here. Stream manager. I don't know why I'm saying dur a lot. Why not though? Where's raid? Raid channel. Following. Filter. And we're going to go to Rufus. Good buddy, friend of the channel, collabs with V-Dungeon a lot. Deserves the love. We're going to raid out to Rufus. So we're going to hit start raid. Alright, everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I also want to thank my fellow V-Dungeon members, Mooney and Selena, for writing out to us. And another big congratulations to Selena, if she's still here. Well, congratulations to her anyway, regardless. For the 100 followers, look forward to her 12-hour stream this Saturday that she's using to celebrate. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night, where me, Selena, and Alana will be playing Baldur's Gate. So thank you everybody for joining me. I'm going to change over to stream ending soon, and then I'm going to immediately read out to Rufus. So thank you everybody. Bye bye.